Subscribe if you haven't yet.
How are we starting this?
But if you don't, I'm starting. This is me starting it.
Oh, okay.
Like, welcome back to the Mister and the Sister podcast. We are gonna figure out a way to say that eventually. I don't know. I would like some reverb on that, like Mister and the Sister podcast, like something. I don't know. But I don't want to kill y'all's the eardrums. Um,
Yeah.
so so we're back.
Yay.
We're back. Two viewers. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. We're
Did y'all
we're
miss us?
we're we're a very fresh podcast. Okay, like just bear with us as our lives have completely changed. We'll get into that in a little bit. This is the first time we're recording like from two different locations. I think it's gonna work out better too, just because we don't have that pressure to like drive all the way to see each other or whatever. But eventually, yeah, I mean, like we might be able to do this um and do some in person video stuff or whatever. But also, like I want to do video and stuff too, like just like this. But like we'll warm up to that. Lacey's
I'm shy.
she's warming up to that. Like she hasn't had like the veteran level amount of years I've put into freaking seeing my face like constantly, and I still to this day am like self-conscious sometimes, but it does get better.
Yeah, and I
And
don't really have
so
a setup yet where I can do that. Like I have stuff in storage to do a setup, but I just don't have
but
it.
yeah, we'll when you guys see it, we'll see. I think the point is that we're creating content no matter what. Like just, audio or video, it doesn't really like it matters to us, but like I we'll warm up to that. It's just
Yeah.
it can be a lot. But other than that, we like did a little test before this, and like we're figuring it out. Like, cause I was seeing if like she can just join Streamyard, like join like a freaking video call with me, just from her phone, and just see if it works. And like the audio is actually way, which AirPods are great anyway for a mic. So I mean, it's really not that bad. But we'll figure out her like setup in the future. Anyway, I'm boring you guys with that, but welcome back, and we oh, it's just like how do we even like I don't know. Where do we even
Well,
begin?
yours was more recent, or like yours was before mine. So let's go ahead and talk about what you've been doing um with your life since we've been away.
Well, me and my wife got a house, and it's I don't know. It's been an experience. Like a lot has changed over like because I was telling Lacey last night on the phone. I was like the last episode of this pod was like oh around. I need to look at it again, but I think it's like 5 to 6 months. And I had just like left my old job at like and talked about it on the pod. Um, but I have not. But since then, we got a house, and I'm trying to like look at it now while I. Yeah, the irony is the last episode had life changes. That's like the start of the title, so it's like
Yeah,
so life was changing then. But yeah, it's 5 months old, so like, jeez, like we're
that's
almost at half a
crazy.
year. Which doesn't even feel like that, but at the same time it does, just because like it's been. I wouldn't say. I mean, I guess a quick 5 months, but at the same time, like just a lot has happened so much. Maybe makes it feel a little longer. Um, but then that also feels like yesterday at the same time. Um, but yeah, like when we recorded last, we were doing it. We were hanging out every time we recorded and just recording it in my small freaking studio. I almost called it studio apartment now, but it's an apartment, and I had like a tiny studio room that was also the guest room. I will not miss that, because now my studio is its own space, its own big room, and I love it. I just gotta clean it still and put stuff away, but
Yeah.
Long story short
Um,
about the house, it's great. It's just like it's literally like things changed, like, and then Lacey kind of like wanted to like move near us, and then it was kind of more of like, and it lined up a little bit more that they had an opportunity for somewhere that is a little further out, like because when we were hanging out and recording those episodes, we were in the same city, like, and because they just happened to move to the same city as us, just because like the opportunity there and everything, and I just kind of, me and Ashley just kind of happened to already be there, and so it worked out that we to like hang out and like, um I don't know, do stuff for each other. Like she would watch my animals whenever we're on vacation, or I'd go like try to feed hers or whatever. Um, but right now we're in a situation where like she's a little further away, but like, but I mean, I'll kind of let you talk about your version of that. But like, basically, you are gonna be living a little closer.
yes. So I almost said it. I almost said me and my boyfriend bought a house, but he is now my fiance because I got engaged on
And that
Saturday,
too.
actually. Yeah. Um, which wasn't really a major life change for me because we're still living the same way. So like, I mean, plus the wedding planning and stuff like that. But um, yeah, we bought a house and we actually move in next week. That is only 15 minutes closer to you, but it's still like,
That's
it's
still quite a
closer.
bit of time shaved off, though.
Yeah. Um, so I'm excited to see what that brings us. We've only been to the house like once, obviously, to look at it, and um, we weren't able to be there for like inspection. I think y'all did that with y'all's house. I don't remember.
First
Um,
one.
the first one,
I had one
yeah.
that didn't fall through, and like that was a whole thing. But yeah.
Yeah. Um, but we didn't get to be there for that. So this is like next week whenever we go for a closing date, like that's the second time we'll be seeing the house. And it's been like a month since we've seen it. Like I knew this was a long process, but I didn't realize you literally go see a house, make an offer, and then you just don't see it again until you move. Like,
Pretty
um,
much.
so yeah, but we're super excited. Happens to be like 3 days before Christmas that we get to move in. So um, that's our Christmas present to each other is we're moving. So yeah, we actually moved. So I didn't mention this. We've moved again since the last podcast because we rented an apartment just until we can find a house and get it all situated and stuff. And it happens to be like literally 3 weeks before our lease ends, and we move into a new house. So um, everything worked out. It's going really good. Um, so that's my life update. Oh, I have another life update.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not in cosmetology school anymore. I forgot that I was in cosmetology school whenever that dropped.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, that's old news. um, but yeah, I don't.
But well, and just to kind of like, and I'm sure a lot of you guys listening, or if you listen to this years down the road or whatever, like you can relate to this in a way, but your life can change so quickly, and like, but sometimes you like look back at the choices you made, and even though some things feel like they are kind of downs and dips, like they actually end up kind of being because of that happened, like things are good, like
Yeah,
later, like things are working out, and it's just like a blessing. And I was talking to Lacey about that last night. I was like, with this new job I found, like literally specifically because me and Ashley's mindset on finding a house was like just kind of anywhere in the area. We were willing to get out of the town we lived in, even though we got very comfortable there. But it just kind of goes to show, making yourself a little uncomfortable and accepting like certain changes, because we were just like open minded, and we found this house that is further out in an area we've never lived, and new town that's kind of like almost like three towns all smushed together. I think they should just come up with a name for all of them. Like, yes,
yeah,
I can just call it all one really big town. Um, but kind of like because we were kind of used to living in a town where like we had an apartment in the town, like in the city, like and but now we're kind of like living a more, I wouldn't say, and when I say this out loud it sounds like it's like we live in the sticks or something, but like a more, it's a little more country. Like we have houses beside this house, like just, there's just, it's a community of houses, but like there's still like woods, and like I don't know, when we moved here I like was experiencing like, oh my god, like the air is like, I don't know, like just more crisp, like it just, and I think that like literally like I was so used to the other town, and it just makes you realize like how much of a difference even just like breathing, like breathing in like oxygen from trees, like it's weird, but like I mean I still have allergy issues and stuff, it's not like it's fixed, but like just like sometimes like I'll take our dog out at night and like it's just like crisp air, and like even down to like I see the stars like every night. Like there's barely a night unless it's like rainy and cloudy or whatever. The stars here are so like vibrant, like just in this the black sky like they're supposed to be. And like in it's weird how like when you live in a town, I heard stories about like how LA at night or something like that, you're supposedly not able to see the stars or something because there's just so much like pollution or whatever, like something like that. I don't even remember trying to look when we went to LA, but like it just, um it's just like what I'm trying to say the long way around is like you just sometimes you got to make yourself uncomfortable to like make a change, and realize like you'll look back and realize it's probably for the best. And if it's not for the best, then you pivot again. But like it just, we took a big leap of faith, and then like just the people I work with now, it's like I was telling Lacey, like I would have never met these people and just built these like friendships or whatever if it wasn't for this particular house, like because we were open-minded to all these different cities, and I would have just settled and got a job wherever we landed, and it was here, and it's a blessing. And now we're just like so used to the town, and it's like, oh, it's home now, like just like the other town was. But every step in me and Ashley's life has just been this like leap of faith thing, and I could tell you that it, from experience, if any of you are scared of something like that, like trust me, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Like just, you grow because you made like took a big leap of faith. It's really weird how that works, but like you see it later, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. Um,
Now like
but
a lot of stuff has happened with you too, where you have like left jobs and stuff because it's a leap of faith,
yeah.
and then it works out.
Um, and as we're moving to like a new town, I'm kind of in the same position that he is, where I'm gonna have to like find a different job there. And yeah, I'm nervous, but I mean, what is the worst that can happen when you find a new job? You don't like it, so you stay for a little bit, then you actually don't like it, so then you leave and find a different job, or like
Yeah,
you get
not a
better
whole lot bad
offers.
because I mean, you just either way you're making money. I mean, it's
Yeah. Um,
the only reason
so,
we try to work is like you gotta have, it's just that financial piece.
yeah. Um, there was something else I was gonna say, but I forgot. Uh, but yeah, there's been a lot of life changes, and we're adapting pretty quickly. Um, Now we have to readapt. But I mean, we've moved enough to like know, and um, we haven't really moved towns a lot, so this is going to be different. And whenever I say this, whenever we went to go look at this house, is literally the most middle of nowhere place I've been. That there is a town and there's like a restaurant and stuff, and then there's a bigger town that's like 20 minutes down the road or whatever, but it was straight for miles, just fields and fields and fields and fields. And we like that. Like, I like living in the middle of nowhere. But it's still town enough that we're not gonna have like no cell signal. Like, that's what was important to us is like, okay, We kind of want to live out in the country, but we also want to have cell signal and be able to watch TV and whatever, not have to worry about not having Wi-Fi or anything like that. So, um, but do you know on movies when the police station is like run down kind of and it's like in one of those strip mall looking old buildings, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how the police station is here. Like, not joking. It's right next to a field with cows. So it reminds me of like an old country town kind of. Um, so I mean it's gonna be nice and we're excited to move. Um, but the moving process, dude, we don't want to do it. Moving everything is not fun. Um, ever, actually. Um,
Yeah.
but it's the last time we'll have to move for a while, a long time. So,
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a process, and I mean moving just sucks in general. Like we were so freaking stressed out with moving, and it was just like this big like weight off our shoulders when we realized, cuz I remember it being the night before October 1st, but I technically had moved the very last items like in my car because Ashley had to work and it was kind of like up to me to get the very last bit. And so the apartment was filled with basically one full last carload. And talk about like all those nights we had to do that too. It was hot, not quite getting cold yet. It was just like the worst time to have to move, but it was worth it in the end. It was just so like it was an experience, and like I just remember I just kind of like walked around the apartment for a little bit, just like, wow, this is like it's weird because like we put a lot of years into that apartment, and it's just like this weird. Like it's not like I couldn't let it go, but I was sad a little bit because of the memories. But slash, like it was literally the last time I was gonna be in it because I was putting like the key and stuff like in the office mailbox. That was it. That was just it after that. Like I was locking the door and then basically throwing away the key. like and so yeah, I just kind of like I
it's
took like a
emotional.
like I took a picture of like the empty living room. Like I don't know, it was just very like I mean I took a few photos like that. For one, I took photos just out of like um proof that we did all of it and it's empty or whatever. But there was so many moments of like, oh, I have everything right, and then I'd open the cabinet and there's like one last thing, and every little last thing would just send me into like just like we're not done yet. Like I was just mad like because it was just like we realized in this move we have too much stuff. And
Yeah.
so and I know it's not as much as like a lot of other people have. Some people hoard, some people whatever, but we kind of moved into this house with the mindset of like, all right, not necessarily going minimalist, not going to be one of those places that has like nothing in it but just like a couch or whatever, but like we're definitely going for a very like minimal look to the house that I think we're really going to like. Like even in my studio that I have now, I have way more room, but I still have too much stuff that I'm just like, man, I'm over some of this stuff. Like I don't even like half of the stuff I have for the walls. I don't even want to hang. Like I mean, I'm down to make it look good, but like I kind of need help when it comes to like making stuff look good. Like I don't know. Like it's weird. So I'm thinking about putting like some shelves up. Um I don't know, but I just am ready to like sell half my stuff. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
and like
so it's just like, I mean, yeah, we moved it here, but it was kind of like too stressful at the time to worry about like trying to sell stuff and move. So I was like, get everything in the house and then just like basically slash throw half your stuff out or sell it. Like I have like posters and stuff that I feel like would be worth a lot of money. So I just like once you move is like when you realize you have too many things, and it's just like I don't need all of this, and I don't even personally like it whenever like a place. And this is like my mindset for other people's houses too. I just don't like it when stuff looks too busy, like where it's just like, oh my god, they have so much stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's like Just kind of
Uh,
like neatness.
yeah. Whenever I went to like walked into your studio at the new house, I was like, I honestly thought to myself, how did all of this stuff fit in the apartment? Like, where was it? Because there's so many things that like obviously you're either selling or hanging up or whatever, but I was like, I don't remember all of this being in the apartment because this is a
I
lot
know.
of like stuff that you've collected. And it's not like bad or anything. It's just um like you said, you don't realize how much stuff you have until you have to move
And trust
all
me,
of it.
all the stuff that you see in my studio, like I have the closet in this room is like this tiny closet and it's like full now. Like I don't like I want to put more in there just so I don't have to look at it. But for one, that's not good because that doesn't get anything done. I'm a very like procrastinator. I put stuff off and I don't like cuz I stress out and not want to face things right now. Like I don't feel like facing the thing right now. And I know a lot of you guys can relate to that. And yeah, I just like I don't even like I love my studio right now, but I want to like come in here and that feeling of like space and like neatness, not just like so I'll eventually and that's the beauty of when you move, and this will be kind of for you guys too, like you and Kevin and anybody listening. Like when you move into a new place or you get that first house, you don't have to feel this pressure of like, because it's yours. Like take your time. Like I said, I moved all the stuff into my studio, and there's just kind of stuff leaning on the walls and stuff because I'm getting ready for like, okay, what am I gonna do with this, and this? But I haven't done it yet because I've just been working, and I'm just like, I'll do it whenever I feel like it, like which will probably be never, but you know what I mean. Like I'll do it on like a day where I feel like being productive or whatever. Just take your time to like, because me and Ashley are just now like getting shelves put up in the living room. Like it was just kind of an empty living room with like the couch and the TV with the entertainment center, and that was kind of it. And now we're kind of like getting stuff put on the walls that we like. We've got like paintings coming in of all three animals that we're really excited about because those will be like behind the couch. Uh, just stuff like that, like just stuff that's we like, and that's all that matters. But we just kind of slowly put the house together because we realized like there's no reason to feel like this all has to be done in like a couple days. Like no. Like for
Yeah.
my studio, I was like, there could be stuff in here laying on the walls, but as long as I got my desk set up and my computer set up and like for just stuff that I do, then like I'm good. I'm good right now. Like, but for like streaming on Twitch, I do kind of want my background to be a little less messy, but I'm not like not streaming because of that. I'm just kind
Yeah.
of like, well, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Um, we're actually like we already have an Amazon cart full of everything we want for the house, but I mean it can be over time. Buying a house is expensive. Not to mention that like well, it's this was our choice, but and Kevin's choice. We literally got engaged, so he had to buy an engagement ring. He bought it like a week before but the week before he proposed. He told me bought an engagement ring, then we're buying a house, and then Christmas. So it's like that's a lot of money for one, and I'm so ready to get the house decorated. But um, I understand that like it's gonna take time because furniture's not cheap. Um, at least a decent furniture and the decorations aren't cheap. I mean, most of the stuff on Amazon, I mean, it's pretty decent price, but like I was just going through and adding everything to the Amazon cart and of what we would want and then got on there and it was thousands of dollars and I was like, "What?" I was like, "There's no way it added up to that much." Um, but yeah, I mean, it'll take time to decorate, but I feel like once we get it all done, and it may take a couple years to get everything that we want in there, but once we get it all done, it'll totally be worth it.
Right, and I mean, also like, and I'm sure this isn't to be like I'm not putting me and Ashley on a pedestal here or anything, but like everything leads to something. So if anything, if us moving inspired you guys, like what I'm trying to say is like there's big questions that you have that like
Yeah.
if I wouldn't have just bought a house, I wouldn't have no idea.
Yeah.
And so there's been situations where you're like, oh snap! So you're not like necessarily following just what we did or whatever, but like, but me and Ashley learned so much about house buying as soon as we did it. Like it's just weird. Like the whole process, the last, like I said, I'll just call it the last 5 months because I feel like after we recorded the last like number 3 or whatever, it's like everything just escalated after. Um, but in a good way. Like I said, there was some days, man, like days where I, separate times for separate reasons with me and Ashley both cried through the situation. Um, there was a I'm not gonna go too much into it, but there was a situation with our dog. Like she's fine and everything, but the apartment was being weird about it, and yeah, there was tears. There was tears like whenever I left my job, and like I just but all through that process, like and like I said, like domino effect of like getting inspired to do something. So like right whenever I left my job, like Lacey she already had DoorDash knowledge. So I just went into like, okay, I don't have a job right now. Got to make money somehow. Like, and I always did kind of want to learn how to DoorDash, but just didn't really have the time. And then now I did. And then that like kept me paying the bills until I found a new job in my new place. So everything was literally like just this perfect domino effect of like, how do I keep like getting blessed like this? Where it's just
Yeah.
like, where like everything led to something. And I feel like Lacey and I kind of help each other out in that way. We're always trying to watch each other's backs. So
Yeah.
it's
And
always been something I've respected about our siblingship,
yeah. And
which is crazy because like we've mentioned before, like literally like we used to not even get to see each other, and then now it's just like it
we
just
talk
like
every day.
grew into this like where I didn't even expect. Like I'm not saying I didn't want to, I just never would have expected like that I would just like eventually talk to you every day. But it took you to grow up and everything for that to happen. But it was your choice at that point,
Yeah.
and you
And
you just kind of made the choice to be a family person. So
yeah. Um, we're also going through the same thing that they went with their dog, with my cat, who is now at your house.
yeah.
Um, I'm surprised he's not clawing at your door trying to get in. Or he
He
probably
don't
is.
really do that with this door. He more so okay. He does it for the guest door, which just for context for the viewer, like or listener, I should say. Um, the door, like the first door he started doing it at, like okay, let me just explain this house layout. So we have, let me think, 3 bedroom. One's the master bedroom. That is obvious the master because it has a bathroom and a closet and everything. Then you got my studio room that's kind of at the front of the house. It's kind of a bigger kind of space. And then you have the guest bedroom that's like kind of right through these walls. And like specifically Ollie, her cat that we're keeping for like however long it's been, a couple months or whatever. Like claws at the door, like that guest door. And I noticed he started doing it a lot more after like you spent the night.
Yeah.
Or stayed here or whatever. So it's like he keeps thinking like mom's in there somewhere. Like she's not
Yeah.
here, bro. Like what? Like but then he started doing it on our bedroom door where it's like we're sleeping and the door like the our doors are kind of newer or whatever. I mean the house is only 3 years old and there's like kind of airflow especially in the master bedroom like where like I've literally seen the door when the air comes on, there'll be like a little crack of the door. So the lights are off and I'm going to bed or whatever. And like I could see the outline of the bedroom door. but then when the air comes on, I see it go dark. The door. So that's just an example to tell you guys like how much like just a little adjustment of suction is like pulling the door closed or whatever. It's not like loud. I just barely notice like, oh, the light. Like it's almost a little startling at first because it makes you think like someone just walked by the door or something. But so there's like suction there, so the door will adjust ever so slightly with the air. And so Ollie is able to like put his claws under the door and like just jiggle the door like it's like poof, 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 poof. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
Ollie. It's like, and like every time I have this urge to like throw something at the door, he has done it. He's done it right when I'm about to exit the door. So the other day I just kind of lightly just hit the side of my fist on the door to make it like boom, and it freaking, he like, when I opened the door, he was away from the door and like looking at me from the side, cause he'll like run on these hardwood floors and then drift. He'll like put the brakes on and then be like, whoosh, he slides, and it's so freaking funny because when he gets startled, he's just like I thought Sweet was kind of like a startled cat or whatever, but Ollie, like, you barely do anything and he's just so startled, and it's so funny. But yeah, he's just kind of slowly jumping off pieces of the door, and I'm just like, how? Like, I know that he's got claws, but like Selena doesn't do it, and like dude, it's like he's got the sharpest claws I've ever seen on a freaking cat. I'm just like, I mean, good on him. Like, they're supposed to keep him sharp, and if he ever got outside or something, he could defend himself. But like, I don't know. It's like he just I mean, I know he's also just used to like sleeping with you guys or whatever.
Yeah.
So that might be it. But like, I don't know. I feel like for us, he's just too like freaking. He'll want to sleep, but then he'll like just get up. He'll be like, "Oh, I'm done." Like, I'm not letting you out. Like,
Yeah.
it's like your litter box is out there. And on top of that, by the way, I've never seen a cat poop more than Ollie. Like,
No.
literally, like, I'll hear the litter scraping, and he jumps out. An hour later, he's back in there again. I'm like, how many times are you putting out a turd? Like, what? Like, I don't know. Maybe he just has a different kind of stomach, but he is like,
He has IBS. Don't judge.
does he really?
Um,
Like, do you know for sure of that?
well, his old mom from England told us that he he does go a lot, and she thinks that he has something like that. Like,
It
honestly,
makes
and I'm
sense
like,
because I do as well. So, I poop all the
yeah,
time. So, I mean, but like, I know, like, for example, like, shout out to Ryan. He's probably listening, but he has, Ryan's probably like, don't like, don't let this be the shout out. But like, he has IBS too. But this is an example of like the differences. A lot of people don't know. There's two different versions of it. There's the version where you go like there's like extreme versions where people go like every 10 minutes, but like I'm not like that. Um, but like, especially when I'm nervous, I feel like I have to poop a lot. So if I have to go to a job interview or whatever, like so I go a lot. Ryan struggles to go at all. So
yeah,
there's two different versions of it, and I guess Ollie is just he's like mine. So it's
yeah.
like,
You know what's crazy?
but yeah, I didn't know that, but that is interesting that cats can even have that.
So, sorry for putting everybody on blast here, but our mom also has it, and Kevin has it, but I'm the only one who doesn't, and I'm knocking on wood right now because I don't want it. Y'all keep it over there, but it's like our mom,
You would
you,
probably know by
Kevin.
now because like I feel like I've had this problem even all through my teenage years, so I think it would have caught up to you by now, but it is interesting how it would just skip, well, not necessarily skip you because I was first. Um
Yeah,
well, yeah,
but
it's like it doubled her and me and then just skipped you.
yeah, um, which I'm thankful for, but that's crazy. Even my cat has it, and I don't. Weird.
But at the same
Um,
time, sometimes I'm not even mad because it's technically healthy to poop. So like I'm glad that I'm not the other way. I do like I feel bad for Ryan sometimes because like I'm just like we'll just kind of joke about it sometimes. I'm like, so like, has it been like a week? He's like, yeah. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like how are you not like super bloated or whatever, and like just ready to pop.
Yeah.
But
That's enough
yeah,
poop talk.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but Ollie, yeah, we miss him a lot. Kevin was just talking about that the other day. But like 2 or 3 more weeks maybe, and then we'll get to bring him to his new home. Um,
Yeah, I told Lacey and Kevin, I'm like, just like it's not just settle in, get your home ready for cat care, like, cause like I was like, no, like, cause you were kind of trying to talk about like, cause moving them in early or whatever, and then like no, 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 like, cause like if you'll just have to drive to your home every day to feed them or whatever, so you might as well just be living there and then worry about it.
yeah.
Um, I know, I know Peggy's gonna be happy about Angel going
Yeah.
away. Um, but
She actually,
I think she low key is like loves having her around because she gets all like lovey and stuff. So
yeah, I'm actually getting Angel this weekend. So,
nice.
I'm bringing her to, I'm going to be there anyway, and I'm bringing her to the house she's used to, the apartment, and then,
Oh yeah, I got you.
we'll, um, take her to the new house whenever we get moved in. But,
Just hide
um,
her really well for the ending.
well, it'll be like this weekend. Next week is the last week we're going to be here. Like, it's either
Mm-hmm.
going to be Wednesday or Thursday whenever we, um, close, and then next weekend we'll be moving. So it's like a week is not that long, and they're not going to be here. Like, we don't have any inspections scheduled, and if we did, we would know by now. So, um, or unless it catches on fire or something breaks, then
Jeez.
there's no reason I should show up. Um,
Knock on wood again.
yep, doing it right now. Um,
Unfortunately, my desk is whatever texture you'd call this. But let me just say it's not wood, so I don't have the luxury of that. But
I don't even think this is real wood. It's the old coffee table that you gave me.
I guess I can.
Probably not real wood.
Um, I would count that as wood. Like it's
Okay.
not, yeah, it's not like probably real wood, but you're getting closer than I would have. Like I had to imagine what you were talking about. I was like, what does our coffee table look like again? I was like, oh yeah, small kind of rectangular wooden looking thing. So
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we have your old furniture, and I'm actually sitting on it right now. We are keeping this. Like, there's some things, some furniture that we aren't keeping, and actually, we're not taking it to the new house. Like, I'm posting on Facebook, and well, obviously, if nobody wants to come get it, I'm just giving it away, then we're going to take it, or throw it away. Um, so, yeah, but, wait, is this y'all's old furniture?
what?
No, this is not y'all's old furniture. Never mind. You gave me the love seat.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, this is not yours. This is somebody else's that I got. I for some reason thought it was yours,
Yeah,
but
like I was saying a few minutes ago, like we like had too much stuff, so much stuff that like every little thing. Well, actually, in the whole process, some people would probably be mad at what we actually ended up throwing away in the apartment dumpster. Like literally, we threw away so much stuff just to have less to take. Like it was down because I can't even imagine because that was probably like 40 to 50% of our stuff. I feel like so like that would have filled the apartment even more. And so I'm so glad we made the decision. Some of them I was like sad about because Ashley's not a sentimental person when it comes to stuff, and I am, and so there was a struggle there of like she wasn't making me throw anything away that I didn't want to, but like she definitely was trying to inspire me, like and I know I need to grow in that. I need to let go, and like I just felt bad about some stuff, and it wasn't like anything that's like like a gift or whatever from somebody. It was just like stuff that just accumulated, and just it was just less stuff to take, like less carloads were freed up or whatever because of
yeah.
that. So yeah, but
Um, Yeah, I already forgot what else I was gonna say. We haven't podcasted in a minute, so I'm not really used. Like I,
Welcome to podcasting. It's yeah.
yeah. Um,
Hey, at least it's not live. Then you feel this pressure to like speak and then also like try to keep up with like chat.
yeah.
Um,
We'll have to do that one day though.
Maybe one day. Yeah, we'll have to grow a little more first, and then we'll see about scheduling that. Actually, like announce it.
Yeah. Well, we're already famous according to canon,
Oh,
so.
God. Yeah,
Um,
that's a whole
so
thing in itself.
yeah. Um, but and Cannon is technically my nephew that's like 6 years old. So, um, yeah, just want to throw that out there. That's who Cannon is. I don't think I've ever brought him up on. Actually, I think I did on the last podcast. Talked about Sydney's kids. They're growing and they're getting too big, too old.
Mm.
But yeah. Um, I'm trying to think what else has been new that we have talked about. Um, but yeah, I mean,
We can also save stuff. I don't really mind. Like, I mean, we're already are almost at 45 minutes. Like I'm not saying we got to wrap up, but I'm just saying like if we do have more, like I just don't want us to feel this pressure to like fill an hour, like when we can just kind of like split conversations into another episode because there's like literally so much has happened in the last 5 months that it's like it the last 5 months could be like so many
yeah,
episodes like technically, so it just like that's kind of up to you. um but like I'll tell you what, let's kind of like just let's start wrapping it up, but like what let me ask you this, like I'm interviewing my sister, like nah, but what what advice would you give the people right now, like just
um,
little spark of advice. I don't know, we should call it something like a segment at the end or whatever that's kind of like just
so
kind of inspiration
actually,
for the people.
I have two things. Um, and this is pertaining to this episode of what we've talked about updates. Buying a house at our age, like we are proud of that for one. I'm 19 and my fiance's 20, almost, or we're almost 20 and 21, but um, I did not think it's possible, but because I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. Like, we have to get a loan for that amount of money. That's not possible. Like, we don't have high end jobs or our credit isn't perfect. You can do it and find a lender and talk to them about the different loans because I didn't know that there was different types of loans and different types of qualifications. Like, I was oblivious to that until one, you helped me out, and two, we found a good lender in our area that helped us out. And there's so many different loans, and some of them, like, you have to put from no money down to a percentage money down, and it's not as much money as you think, or at least I thought if you're thinking what I'm thinking, but like, um, yeah, because in my mind, I was like, we have to have like at least $50,000 to buy a house, and that you can buy a car with that. Two cars actually at full price. But like, um, that's my first piece of advice: is if you're thinking about buying a house and you can't do it, just talk to a lender and see what your second or your first or what your options are. My second thing is okay. This is a iffy, touchy subject, kind of not like topic, kind of not really, but I got engaged on Saturday, and the amount of people that have texted me saying, "Are you sure this is what you want to do? You are young. Are you sure? Like, this is a big life choice." Marriage is a big life choice, but just because your age, if you know that person well enough and you have people that support you, and the people that are close to you can normally tell you if it's bad. I'm talking about just nosy family members that I don't talk to on a regular. Don't let that scare you because I know nothing about marriage because I've never been married. I mean, obviously you're married, but um, yeah, just whenever something like that happens, somebody told me today that weddings, funerals, and something else that it was bring out or and children like having a baby bring out the nosy people, and that is true. So just
Yes.
kind kind of ignore what anybody has to say about it and just do your thing. It's
Yeah, don't let it derail your decision.
yeah.
Even your own
Um,
parents, because sometimes, let's just be real, parents can be, like, I'm not saying ours is, but just like, I've seen situations where like parents are cruel about stuff because they don't like the boyfriend or the girlfriend or whatever, and it's just like,
yeah.
it's not your choice, my guy. Like, you and that person that you were married to, those parents like got married or got together at some point, made a baby. Like, you had a choice, and I'm sure like not everybody liked your wife or whatever. It's just like, so.
Yeah. Um, but my thing is, and what I've heard from other people, so people that are close to me, like Sydney, which is my best friend, um, and Kevin, obviously, but like my brother and stuff like that, like it's if those people are seeing red flags and telling you something's wrong, then maybe you can think about it and have a discussion. But if an uncle that you haven't talked to in years is texting you saying, "Are you sure you want to do?" Like, obviously, that's not their place for one, and two, it's don't let somebody that has no direct impact on your life change your decision.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that is my TED talk. um,
Because at the end of
but
the day, it don't really affect them. Like, they live in
mhm,
in a separate house. They have their lives, and they have all their rights and what they do with their lives. And then you got yours that you're about to have in like a new home, and like, so it technically doesn't affect them that much. So they really shouldn't say much and let anything but positivity and support.
yeah, and
And so
age,
and it's always comes from people that barely know like like the other person or whatever.
yeah, um, age does not have anything to do with it. I mean, if you're 14 and trying to do and get engaged, but I wouldn't say yes, but
No, yeah,
um,
let's. There is a line, but I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
there
I
is a
get what you're
line,
saying.
but if you're mature enough to have your own vehicle or like make your own money or there's a certain level of maturity where if you're doing good for yourself for one, but if I can buy a house and go to work every day or support ourselves or whatever, then obviously we should be able to get married. So just because we're 19 doesn't, or I'm 19 doesn't mean um, that I should not be getting married. Like that is, I never thought that I would be 19 and getting engaged and buying a house, but um, I also have a really good partner and like he supports um me like more than I ever thought. But um, the age is just a number, and it's more about your maturity level. And people who don't know you that well, and just know your age are going to say things like you're too young, but they don't know, they're not around you to know what level you are in life. So, um, yeah,
And
that's,
it just doesn't matter what people think, because how I see it, and this sounds kind of like heavy, like a little dark, but like it's gonna work out or it's not. There's
yeah,
no like in between. There's not like this third option or whatever. Like, it's, rather your leap of faith and going into marriage is gonna work, or like it's just not. Like, it literally can go two ways, and like, um, I think people that have seen stuff and got divorced several times and stuff like this, like, feel like I get it. I mean, if you're, if you have that experience and what I call like being like, quote unquote, like kind of a veteran in a certain subject of life, like, I understand like a 50 or 60-year old seeing some life and then having really good advice for something like that, but they can't sit there and say that it's not completely possible, like, um and I
and I
just.
think why there's such negativity about getting married young because people are not how they used to be. This generation is obviously not how it used to be. And just because that's not how it used to be doesn't mean that you can't be that way. Because my grandparents got married young at like 16, 17 and had kids 18, 19 like that. That's not normal now. Now that's frowned upon. But if you were at the maturity level, obviously this is different generation, but the reason it was like that is because the maturity level then was like it or not like it is now. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Did you know?
It's
I don't know if you know this or if she's ever told you, but Mimi had Peggy when she was 16.
yeah, and
That's like
that's
super freaking young and very frowned upon today, but it was a whole different world.
yeah,
And I mean, there's still girls having babies at 16 now. It's not to say like, but it's just like this weird, like that blows my mind to think about, like just someone being able to say to you, like, yeah, like as your mom or whatever, like only 16 years older than you. Is like that's not a lot. Like
yeah,
you're still basically a kid having a
yeah,
kid. So it definitely, you know, it's crazy. It's
yeah,
absolutely crazy.
yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, don't let people tell you that it's wrong or you're too young or whatever. I would say a good rule of thumb is like if you can support yourself on your own for one, and for two, I'm saying that if you're still living like with your parents and fully relying on them and you're like, oh, I want to have a baby or I want to get engaged, like
Yeah, that's
really think it through. I'm not trying, if this goes viral, I'm not telling 16 and 17-year-olds to get engaged or to have babies. I'm just saying that my maturity level is I moved out at 17 and we've been living together since, and that's also frowned upon, but that's a whole other thing, another podcast. But we have been supporting ourselves without our parents for over 2 years now, and we are doing fine. So the fact that people still texted me, like
yeah.
they didn't text me whenever we moved in together, or
Mm-hmm.
texted me whenever we bought a house. Only whenever we started talking
Like
about
it's
marriage.
basically the same thing, bro. Like I know that
Yeah,
engagement is a big thing, but like I told her, like if you guys would just know Kevin and Lacey enough to know how mature they are, you would feel the same sense that I did. It's like y'all were like it's almost like a surprise. Like wait, y'all aren't engaged yet. It just feels like you are. Like y'all
yeah,
already act like y'all already just immediately and then over time and had grow things that you grew in as a relationship, and like y'all act like a married couple. That's
yeah.
what I'm trying
Well,
to say
there's
in
a
all the good ways I can mean by that. But it's like truly like it's like I'm not saying I wasn't excited for you and getting engaged. I was just like, well, I kind of like it was almost like a surprise. Like, wait, he
You
didn't do
know,
that
Kevin's
yet.
grandparents said the same thing. She said, I thought he already asked.
Well, yeah, I
Um,
mean, but it's just like the feel y'all's relationship just feels like y'all are basically already married, and it's just like like I know that obviously it's not like a y'all been in it together for like 10 years or something like that. But like I mean, I can't even say that anyway because I mean, Ashley, like I got engaged to her not long into it either, just because you
yeah,
just know. It's like you're
yeah.
in your relationship and you envision right that like being with this person forever. Can I do it? And you realize that it's a yes. Then it's like, well, then you're sold. Like just
Also, um, this is also, I'm just touching on this right now, but another piece of advice I would give, we would have to put out the story and all that for another podcast, but whenever you're with somebody in the beginning of a relationship, me and Kevin's relationship, I wouldn't say it's really rocky, but we had our ups and downs, and we were babies whenever we started dating. I was 17, and now I'm almost 20, and I'm still not, still consider myself a baby. But if you have, like you said, whenever you know, and I knew Kevin was the person that I wanted to be with, but there was some people in the family that looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, that is not the person you're going to marry. That is not going to work. Like, y'all's relationship needs work. And we put in the work. And now, where we are now is crazy to me because I wouldn't imagine that 2 years ago. Like, I knew that we would end up this way. Like, we would end up working out things and getting engaged and talk about marriage and buying a house. Like, I knew
yeah,
that would
you
happen.
envisioned what would happen. It's like you knew the future almost.
So,
It's weird how it works. Yeah.
if I'm saying that if you and your boyfriend, fiance, husband, whatever have issues, and people are telling you that that's not going to work and what you should do, it is okay if you don't listen to them. And there was times where people would give me advice like, "Why don't you just leave?" or and it was never anything major or physical. It was just little petty stuff that we needed to work on in any relationship. But any relationship, you have to work on things. But like I would feel bad ignoring people's advice. I'm like, I just went to them about this issue. They gave me advice and I'm not taking it. But now I'm so happy that I didn't because if I would have, then I feel like we both would have been completely different people and like maybe not together, maybe still together without having some things resolved. Like we kind of didn't listen to, oh, y'all shouldn't do that. And we just did it. And now we're like, now here we are. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying is moral of the story is don't listen to people and don't let people influence your decision or unless it's like a safety issue or a major issue or obviously if anything's physical or anything like that if you're getting hurt then that's different but
Mm-hmm.
um yeah okay I'm done giving advice because this could be a whole nother episode.
Yeah, I get it. And maybe we will kind of like flesh that out a little more in the future. I feel like that's I kind of want to start like writing down different subjects of like possible episodes
That's what I was thinking.
cuz that way we can keep up with it in our brain. Like I feel like when I write something down, it's like just easier to keep up with stuff. Um but my advice would basically just be and then this is like 45 minutes like no, but my advice would be take leaps of faith. Like I'm probably going to use that advice in future episodes, but it's just cuz I'm such an avid like I believe in it so much and just like take leaps of faith, do stuff that's scary, and then you'll be able to look back and rather you made a mistake or you didn't. Like, what do you have to lose? The only thing you have to lose
Yeah.
is your life. So don't like do something super stupid, but like but live. You know, like I'm trying to. Like I'm trying to like I'm not gonna go into it too much, but I'm kind of trying to give that advice the best way I can to a particular person me and you both know. And I really am just trying to say live, like you're not,
Yeah.
you know. So it's just because we love that person and I want to see them thrive. They've just been through a lot. Um,
Yeah.
but aside from that, like I said, just live, like just take leaps of faith. Like trust me. Coming from a guy, I promise you guys, I swear. Like, I am the most scaredy cat person on the planet. Like, I have anxiety. I get nervous super easy. Like, I was, like, almost sweating at this, like, simple job interview, like, recently. And then now, like, I love the people there and I'm vibing with it. I'm not, I can't say, like, I'm loving it, but I'll say, like, everything that, everybody that asks me where I work now and I say the answer, I know that the looks are always just a little bit like, oh, really? Like, or whatever. And I'm like, I literally was at Seven Brew the other day and someone asked me where I worked and I said the answer. I'm like, overnights at blank. And I said, they were like, oh, how is that actually? Like, you know, what's it like doing something like that? And I was like, I've had worse jobs. Like, literally, I have. Like, I've had way more stressful, more like mental, like, just not like bad jobs, but like, I've had worse jobs. That's my quickest answer to anyone. And it's just, you know, like I would have never thought I would work somewhere like this, but it's like decent money and I'm vibing with it. I'm not thinking too hard about like, oh, this isn't the career I wanted or whatever, but it's like it pays the bills, bro. And if you can get into something that you're terrified of, that you know, you realize once you're there, like every time you do something in life, it is never as bad as your mind thought, like played it out to be in your head before you got to the thing, period. Like I don't care, like I've done it so many times where I'm terrified about something and sometimes things are actually bad, but it's never going to be as like all these scenarios you play in your head will just play with your emotions. That's all it ever is. It just plays with your emotions.
Yep.
And I just truly believe in that. And but anyway, yeah, we're actually about to hit the hour mark, so we shall wrap it up. But I hope you guys are looking forward to, you know, just us like coming back. And I love podcasting. I want to put energy and love into it because, like, I've started so many podcasts that have just like just crumbled on the ground and just failed. And I just always felt like ours that we started, like I didn't want that to have the same fate because I feel like we have a lot of great conversations and stuff to say, and just insight for people or whatever. And I feel like we're such regular people that people can just relate. And I'm
Yeah.
excited about continuing it and actually growing it. I want to like make clips in from stuff and like have like the podcast have its own account on other social media platforms. To be able to like spread our wings and announce whenever even like a new episode drops. And but it's slow growth or fast growth. I'm excited about it just because I feel like with stuff like this you have to enjoy the process and have fun with what you're doing. If we were just doing it for the views and for the whatever, like, and try to make money off of it, then and only that, it would feel more like work. It's supposed to be fun, and I mean, I'm excited about it. So,
Yep.
hope you guys are excited about the journey. And I guess we'll just holler at you on the next one. We'll probably be going into some even deeper stuff at some point because there's a
Yeah.
lot. But yeah, do you got anything to say before we jump off?
See you next time.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.